If you ask fly fishermen about the appeal of standing knee-deep in an ice-cold river current, hour after hour, with mosquitoes constantly buzzing in their ears, then you'll quickly understand that fly fishing isn't a hobby. It's a passion. Fly fishing is an art. Everyone who's tried it in the river knows this. Many spend years developing their special casting technique and acquiring the experience necessary to become a skilled fly fisher. The pursuit of the optimal fishing experience is often the impetus behind the passion. That second when everything simply clicks and time seems to stand still. But for many, the entry threshold for fly fishing is high. Much needs to be learned and practiced before you can master a fly cast. Helping beginners get started with fly fishing was an important reason why the idea for the Spey handle took shape.
Even
the idea of the Spey handle is a result of many years as a guide, instructor and fly fisherman. I've had many guests and instructed many courses, and I've always wondered if it's possible to find a more optimal technique for a fly cast. After a course in Valldal in 2001, I drove home to Ornes. The car radio was off, and a lot of good ideas came to me. Suddenly, I had an idea about how I could do something with the design of the handle itself. To get closer to the body, to get better control of the cast, to use the left arm more. I ended up at a rest stop down in the Gudbrandsdal Valley, where I whittled a handle. That was the original idea for the Spey handle. And it was a fun start to a chain of ideas that has brought us to where we are today.
As the idea of the Spey handle took shape, Arve quickly discovered that it wouldn't only be helpful for beginners. Experienced fly anglers would also benefit from the advantages of the Spey handle.
Regardless of your preferences as a fisherman, if you like fast rods, slow rods, short lines or long lines, the Spey handle has an effect because you hold the rod closer to your body when you work and you use your left hand more. For example, someone who fishes with a double taper needs a lot of line in the air and a lot of power in his cast. He'll clearly have a better follow-through with his cast. Then there's a fisherman who fishes with an underhand cast. He'll also have increased power in his cast because, for example, in a cramp position where he needs a short stroke length, he'll get more power with his left hand than he did before. And there's also less strain on the body because the technique of holding the rod closer to the body. The entire movement lies here, down here. The torque is also maintained much better in the rod, and the energy is transferred to the line in a much more beneficial way. With long line lengths, you'd previously have a body position where you'd put a lot of the weight above and you'd force the cast out as far as possible. But not anymore. I work much closer to the body and have a bigger and longer working length on my cast. 20 centimetres down here amounts to quite a few centimetres at the top of the 3-metre rod. I don't have any strain on my shoulders, which I had before, and I don't put the weight above and forward when I cast. I have full control down here. I'm completely imbalanced there. The physical aspect is important to me because I struggled with the shoulder for many years, which has been painful because of fly casting and a long life as a fly fisherman. Now I get closer to my body. My right arm is anchored so I don't strain my shoulder and back. This means that I can stand in the river as before, enjoying the adventure and cast without getting pain in my shoulder. And anyone who's fished and spent 10 hours in the river knows that this is strenuous. The less strenuous it is, the more fish you catch.
Etter en ukes fiske så får jeg ofte sånne brannsmerter opp på nakken og skulder. Det blir tungt å gå og kaste time etter time. I de senere årene så har jeg jo funnet ut at jeg må prøve å forandre kasteteknikk for å bruke så lite energi som mulig. Spare på kroppen min. Nå har jeg fått den nye stanga i hendene her. Her snakker vi om et annet forbruk av krefter, tror jeg. Her trenger jeg ikke å løfte armene så mye. Jeg kan operere rett foran meg. Og dette går jo utrolig lett.
The Spey handle represents the first real innovation for fly fishers in a long time. The unconventional design has many advantages. The shape of the handle allows you to use less energy while achieving increased control and power, regardless of casting style and line preference. The strain on the body is reduced, and the techniques are easier to execute.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Stopp litt der, ja. Bra. Kjempebra. Veldig bra.
Yes. Der tok jeg bare venstre.
Nå kan han fiske laks selv.
A lot of work and thought has been put into the design of the Spey handle. But the Spey handle holds more than you can see with the naked eye.
Foruten det rent visuelle som du ser.
Besides the purely visual, you can see that there's a change on the handle. A lot of work has been done on the lower part. For example, we've added a flex in the lower part, and this depends a bit on what type of caster you are. It can vary from carbon to a polyurethane core, which gives you a better feeling of the fly cast, and it's about feeling more with the left hand than we did before during a cast. Some work's also been done on the design of the grip, which means that you always know where the fly cast is going. You no longer fumble in the dark, after dark.
Dette blir et før og etter for meg, altså det er helt sikkert.
Mindre energi og lettere. Alt går så mye lettere. Både å få strekt ut, og så slipper en å bruke så store armbevegelser som brukte på den tradisjonelle stengeren. Da. Det er bare fenomenalt. Det går så enkelt og lett at det...
Ja, uansett hvordan du snur og vender på dette.
No matter how you look at it, fly fishing isn't primarily about equipment. Fly fishing is about the adventure. The adventure of mastering the elements with your rod, regardless of where your rod may lead you. This is what it's all about, for me.